Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 24/7. My name is Neharika Baria, and I'm with you with the area of ABFM. I hope I'm audible as well as visible, everyone. Please confirm. Okay, so I hope there's a clarity there. Let's continue with the class. Today we'll be talking about. I hope there's a clarity. Yes. Okay, now let's talk about the area of one of the functions of management as the new syllabus is out. So let's start with the functions of management. The first function of management is planning. So I'll be starting with the concept of planning. What exactly planning is and how planning exactly works is something that we'll be starting with. Okay. Planning as a function. If we talk about that, what is exactly planning, everyone? Planning is basically deciding in advance what to do, how to do. Basically, one of the most common definitions of planning is planning seeks to bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be or where we want to go. So if I talk about planning, it is basically a concept which says the planning is a concept which says whenever we are talking about planning, it basically helps to bridge the gap. See, is if I said I would like to get a specific amount, basically within the next 10 years, I would like to reach to become a millionaire company or basically a billion company, right? Let's not talk about millions, let us talk about billions. The company is already making millions and just thinking to come to billions. So if they would like to earn that much, so that is where we are standing at the current point and where we would like to reach after a certain period of time is basically what we talk about planning. So planning is forward looking or backward looking as per this. If we talk about planning, is it forward looking or backward looking? As per this entire portion, if we talk about planning, planning is basically forward looking. It's something which talks about moving forward, right? So planning is basically deciding in advance what to do and how to do, and planning is closely connected with creativity and innovation. If I talk about planning, planning is basically a mental exercise. It's nothing much. We are just thinking, we are doing nothing, but we are thinking what resources are required, how should we work towards it, how can we work and achieve all those goals is something planning talks about, right? So that is the functions of management, the first one. Okay. What are the different kinds of plans as well? When we talk about the different kinds of plans, in terms of planning, how do we define these plans? Okay. Now, when we define these various kind of plans, planning is basically based upon the fact that we look forward into our future and then we define how do we work towards that particular goal now. So if we talk about planning there, in terms of planning, how do we specify it? The plans can be based upon strategic planning. Strategic planning means to achieve an objective we strategize, we find the ways to achieve the goals of the organization, and to achieve those goals we have strategies. It can be both long range as well as the short range plans. Strategic planning, which is the planning which is to achieve the goals in the longer period or the longer run, is called strategic planning. As a long range planning, it basically covers a long period. It can be, for example, if we talk about the 5-year, 10-year plans that they're coming up in terms of the Make in India campaigns, the schemes which are coming up with a tenure of more than 5 years. So that is something that we look forward to even in the government as well now. So they are planning in such a way. So basically it covers the longer period which may extend from 5 to 20 or more years. A capital intensive industry, if we talk about public utility service or a company dealing in international market, must necessarily plan for a longer period. See, if I would like to stay in the market now, I cannot have a shorter vision. I have to broaden up my vision in order to achieve a specific goal. This is what I'll be doing with, right? So in terms of strategic planning, it refers to the plan which is based upon a specific amount of years that we are talking about. And in order to achieve those goals, we'll be planning further to achieve those goals. We'll be looking forward towards the fact that how are we going to achieve it over a period of a few years rather than just a day. Because just like Rome wasn't built in a day, an entire company will not start making a huge amount of money with just a random snap of a finger. It will take a proper procedure to look forward to that. So the necessary plans are required for a longer period. So when we talk about this planning, planning is basically, okay, now there's one more point, the planning, where we have it planning for a duration of then 15 or 20 or more years. It is also called the perspective planning, because we have a perspective. For example, let's talk about HUL. Hindustan Unilever Limited is basically an organization which is basically an FMCG, having a wide variety of products, right? Same thing goes with PepsiCo. PepsiCo is working in our country with not only the Pepsi, but also in terms of the Lay's, Uncle Chips, and I think there are many more wafers that they have introduced as well. So we think that this particular organization was linked only with the Pepsi that we drink. It is not only linked to that, it's linked to multiple things. That means they had a perspective. They wanted to grow into the market of these snacks and all, and has made it in our mind that Kurkure, and they have given it in our mind that Lay's and Uncle Chips are two different brands. While no, both of them fall under the same organization. That means even if I buy a pack of chips, that is Coke, or there is basically Uncle Chips or Lay's, it goes into the same particular organization. At the same time, if I talk about Hindustan Unilever Limited, if I buy Ponds or if I buy Dove, it doesn't matter to the organization. The entire money goes into their pocket only. So that is a perspective planning. Now they thought about multiple brands. They started building those brands, and those brands started working really good. That is what it talks about, this area. And then comes the scenario planning. If we talk about the scenario planning, that means making assumptions on what the future is going to be and how your business environment will change over the period of time. Basically, scenario planning is basically whatever scenarios are coming up, situations that are coming up, we are going to assume a particular thing, and then as per our environment. For example, India is now fine with that we have made peace with it, that the 2020 was there. After 2020, every organization started growing further. That was scenario planning. I'm sorry. Then what do you mean by scenario planning? That means we're looking forward towards, we're building up different realities. Now, see, scene one, if this particular situation will happen, we'll take it in this way. Then if the next scenario is coming up, then we'll have a different process that we'll be taking up. That is what they call as scenario planning. Basically, we have certain assumptions, and then we see, in an organization, we have to assume a few things would remain constant. For example, if the organization is introducing, Apple has introduced new phone, it is assuming that people were buying the previous model, it will buy the next model as well. The current model will have the same price as the previous model, considering the fact that the market is still going to be the same. The organization will not reduce its price just because the world is hit by some problems. No, that won't be the case. That is what this particular topic talks about. Right? Okay. Then, when we talk about this particular topic further, the planning can be short range as well. Then it includes operational planning. The day to day planning, the working that we are doing is basically a part of the operational planning. If you talk about the operational planning, it can be any kind of planning which is extended over 1 year or more, is detailed. The strategic plans are basically, see, if Dove wanted to enter the market, they said we produce soft and chemical free products. While their products also contain chemicals, but they say we are not harsh on skin at all. They had a particular plan in their mind, right? So they portrayed themselves as a particular product which produces goods in that way. Now, the point was every single time they are introducing a new product or every single time they are coming up in the market in a different way, what do they do exactly? They portray themselves in a proper way. They advertise those advertisements that they're bringing up. That's a part of their operational planning or the tactical planning that we can talk about, right? So these are short range plans. If we talk about the operational or tactical plannings, strategies are kept for a longer to achieve those goals. But to achieve those goals, we need to have small plans as well. Now, that is what is a part of it. Operational plans are basically prepared in more specific terms. It is basically more specific in terms of the working. These plans are concerned with the day-to-day operations of the organization. They deal with the various functional areas. See, if we decided to produce chemical free products, then we need the sources for the same as well. That means we need those particular products which can be used to produce that particular thing. The production, the marketing, the finance, the research and development, different departments are required now. All those departments are working under the area of operational planning. We before we operate at the larger level, let's make things sorted at the ground level. They guide lower levels of managers in their day-to-day activities. It helps the people to maintain their day-to-day activities and serves as the yardstick. It helps to achieve the goals for the further life. Then, when we talk about contingency plans, this is also kind of plan. A contingency plan is which may or may not be required. So this is basically if something really bad happens in the organization, only then they will pursue towards these kind of plans. So they call it the contingency plan. Then the next kind of plan is called the business continuity planning. See, if the business is hit by something, for example, during COVID, every organization was hit badly, except the pharmaceutical and the engineering area. Most of the organizations were hit badly. That means COVID had hit the entire industries. Then the various industries, rather, if we talk about. So there was a basic time where organizations were near about their dying area. So at that point of time, there was a potential threat. So how did they recover through it? What did they do to make sure that the working was still continued? So this plan ensures that the personnel and the assets are protected and are able to function quickly, even in the event of disaster. So, for example, in terms of any earthquake or any fire, whatever is happening in the organization, do they have the backup plans ready? Do they have the backup servers ready? Do they have the basic things ready in case of any discontinuity? Are they able to survive on their own, or they're stuck with the fact that whether they'll be able to work or not? So there's the different kinds of plans. There are many more plans that we'll be discussing in the upcoming classes as well. But before we move forward towards the different kind of planning and other scenarios, how do we specify a planning process? In terms of the planning process, how does it work exactly? First of all, we define an objective. I said that I would like to start my own business. Now that's my objective. Now with that objective, I would look forward towards the opportunities. Now I had a plan in my mind because I thought that no, it is good for me. I can try it out at this point of time. That was my perception of opportunities. Then I established the goals. I thought this is the time where everybody is working towards the chemical free products. Let's produce a particular thing. This is what Ghar soaps introduced. They introduced chemical-free things in terms of the chemical-free skincare products and cosmetics, and they're now skincare products only. They're into the skincare products, so they're introducing every skincare product in terms of the remedies which were there in terms of nani ka nuska, dadi ka nuska, basically the basic things which were there as home remedies introduced with the medical science. They combined it and they found a way of working that way. That is ghar soaps. But basically, they saw an opportunity that this point of time people are working towards organic cosmetics or organic goods, or the ones which are safer to use, right? So there's an establishment of goal. We would like to grow further. No organization is going to work in such a way that we are just going to be there. Then appraisal of planning premises. Basically, we will assume a few things, because not everything can be variable. A few things have to become constant. We'll assume that the people are buying the goods at the same level only. There is no shift in the demand. It's still there. The demand is still the same. That is what we'll be talking about, the planning premises. And then what happens is we explore the various paths of actions. What will we do is find different alternatives to achieve those goals, and then we will choose one among them. That is selection of the course of action, and then what we do is called follow-up, because the process is never complete without follow-up. Basically, planning tries to keep the working flexible, because if they will not keep it flexible, it would become difficult for the people to accept that there are various planning, that we need to keep on changing the plans every now and then. It becomes really difficult if you're not looking forward towards the planning process seriously, because adjustments are required as and when there is a need to do that, right? So this is it for the day, everyone. We have started with the processes, so we'll continue with it further in terms of the planning. Then we'll move towards the next function of management. But before we move forward, have you reviewed our portal yet? Have you reviewed our area where you will get all the details of our courses? CAIIB batches, the CAIIB batch has been just launched. So if you haven't reviewed our batch yet, this is the perfect time where you can look forward towards it. In terms of the JAIIB and CAIIB, you just have to go to www.adda247. Go towards the area of JAIIB and CAIIB. There you have the CAIIB Ka Mahapack, where you get not only the 500-hour classes, that means the entire subjects that we are talking about, but it also includes test series, the video courses, as well as the ebooks. So all these things are available for you. It includes all the CAIIB electives. That means rural banking, HRM, IT, digital banking, risk management, and central banking. It includes both English medium and bilingual. That means if you're looking forward towards any specific topic in bilingual, go ahead and check it out in bilingual. If you're looking forward towards it in English medium, you can watch both. So at this point of time, the validity is there, and at the same time, all this particular pack not only includes the test series but also the revision batches, power pack batches that would be introduced just before the examination, case study batches that we introduce, then in-depth analysis of the subjects could be available for you. So this all thing is available. If you're looking forward to it, you just have to click on the area of buy now, use the code BUY541 and apply it. You'll get it for 7199.20. The validity is for 6 months. So if you're looking forward to it, then kindly hurry up. We'll be meeting in our classes from Monday onwards. The batch is going to continue. The CAIIB new batch is starting. So if you're looking forward to it, then this is the perfect time to look forward to it and get the live classes for yourself. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.